So let's kick things off for today's show. Like I said, belated 9/11 remembrances to everyone listening. None
Shout
of
out
whom
to the
remembers
family
9/11.
of 9/11.
Shout out to his family.
Every single person listening to this show right now has no conscious memories of 9/11 as they were not
Disgusting.
born yet. They were not born. And if you do, just never forget. That's all I got to say. Never forget. I will say though, my favorite part about this now 21st anniversary of 9/11, hey, it can drink. It can now legally enter a bar in America. Who would have thought? But my favorite part about this 21st anniversary of 9/11 is the absence of what has become a 9/11 sort of ritual, a sort of tradition. I'm speaking, of course, about Ari Fleischer's annual retweeting of all of his tweets from 9. His annual
No, he would
tweeting,
do
his
it
annual
different.
Twitter
Every
thread.
year he would do it over again. He would they
Yeah.
were always artisanally crafted. That's how much he got off on it. That fucking
Yeah.
freak.
Where was it this year? He announced that he is retiring his annual reminiscence on his minute by minute
I guess he
account.
forgot 9/11. I wonder why he would do that.
He is retiring his minute by minute account of basically being shuffled into a bunker for an entire day with George W. Bush while Dick Cheney looted the Black Eagle Trust Fund and shot the United 93 out of the sky with a missile. No, he retired his annual reminiscings on 9/11 because, or not because of, I will just say it's merely a coincidence that he was hired to do PR for the Saudi golf tour a couple months before this now 21st 9/11 anniversary. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that he's forgot about 9/11?
I think it would be like he's still doing it, but it's more like an internal presentation, and it's more like when you go to Epcot and it's like Disney through the ages.
Yeah, were there any other good 9/11 remembrances? The only other thing that I took note of on this 9/11 is that they're back to trying to pretend that Iran did 9/11.
Who's trying that?
Just the usual suspects,
like FDD.
Yeah, the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Yeah, there's something on Fox News. Iran's role in 9/11 planning requires further investigation.
Well, yeah, if you don't figure it out in the first 21 years, you got 21 more to try. Iran, okay, they issued official condolences, which is like anyone can do that. The Saudis did that, even though they sent it from the same letterhead they used to plan it. But okay, there was a lot of people don't know this. There was a candlelight vigil in Iran on 9/11, like for America, attended by thousands of people. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, that is like, oh my God, it's like,
yeah.
That's
but
when
Felix, you're forgetting about that group of Iranian art students who were caught dancing in New Jersey on 9/11.
Oh yeah, the
Remember
Iranians.
That? Yeah, they were Iranian. Right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're from Iran, and then when they were on Iranian TV, they talked about how they were just doing their job. Doing that, like the Iranians fucking doing that. That is like when a really religious family, like someone in their family gets killed, and they protest against the execution of the guy that killed them. God bless them. That is it's beautiful of them, but like, holy shit, did we not deserve that candlelight vigil? Judging by how we acted immediately after that.
It's so infuriating because, okay, who is more responsible for 9/11, the Saudis or Iran? Which one of their intelligence services was like instrumental in creating Al-Qaeda in the first place? It was not Iran.
In fact, like right after the invasion of Afghanistan, they tried to work with us to protect like a Shia minority in Afghanistan.
Yeah, the Hazaras.
And yeah, and like, we should not have invaded there, obviously, but there was some decent cooperation there just for practicality's sake because, they spoke the language. They did all the things we didn't do. And then when the axis of evil speech, of course, happened, of course, that went out the window and those people were slaughtered.
You're right, Felix. It is the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. I'm just reading here. It says, if you want to make the case that Iran was directly complicit in 9/11, you don't have enough information. Bill Roggio, senior fellow at the nonprofit Foundation for Defense of Democracies and editor of Long War Journal, told Fox News Digital. But if you want to say that Iran has sheltered and is essentially a state sponsor of terrorism because it's harboring and providing material support for Al Qaeda pre and post 9/11, you can easily make that case. This is really weak. They're not even really trying here. They're just like, look, if you're looking for evidence that Saudi Arabia had anything to do with 9/11, we're going to have to keep looking. But if you're looking for evidence that Iran also did maybe kind of did 9/11 or supports Al Qaeda, well then, buddy, we've got plenty of evidence there. We'd be happy to show it to you after this commercial break. Or you can you can donate to the Foundation of Defense of Democracies for further information on this intelligence that they have. It's just
do they have small donors? I have to say, being a small donor to FDD is like
probably the most monthly payment.
Dude, being a small donor to FDD is like tipping your utility company when you pay your bill. Holy shit. I mean, Iran, okay. So Iranian intelligence services have had some contact with Al Qaeda in the past. There have been some Al Qaeda guys that like hid in Iran just because it's like, I mean, you know, that's what intelligence services do. I think they all exist to fucking talk to Al Qaeda. I think there's one guy in Costa Rica that makes up their version of the IRGC or CIA, and he just is pen pals with one lowly Al Qaeda guy.
Yeah,
that's what they're there for. But like, if you want to talk about who's talking to Al Qaeda after 9/11, I mean, I think you find far more correspondences from the CIA than the IRGC.
Well, or before 9/11. I mean, if the standard here is that like, Iranian intelligence services had contacts with Al Qaeda prior to 9/11, then buddy, I got news for you about some other intelligence services out there. If you're saying that Iran harbored some of the people who did 9/11, wait till you hear about the intelligence agencies that let them into the country.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, you just can't go down that road. I mean, the thing that the FDD people did, like the less delusional ones that they tried after the fact, when they realized that like they weren't going to stick 9/11 on Iran as much as they needed to for a war, which they really fucking wanted. They were really going for that in 05 and 06, and people just weren't for it. It was going, well, look what they've done to our brave troops in the country that we invaded right next door.
They're minding their own business.
Those shaped charges, the penetrative explosives.
I gotta say, that really ground my gears. The way that they referred to attacks on American occupation troops in Iraq as terrorist attacks, like that's not what that is. I'm sorry, they're a fucking military formation. If they are not a valid target according to laws of war, then what the fuck is?
Yeah, that is like what the more normal, you know, quote unquote normal people in the NatSec sphere, many Democrats, many like anti-Trump Republicans said after Trump killed Soleimani. They're like, well, I hate Trump, but this is good because of the terrorist attacks he commanded on American troops during the insurgency. And it's like, if that's terrorism, then just like any, like Agit Corps was terrorism then.
Well, amazing that they haven't decided to just go retro on that and apply it to everything else, because I mean, they don't even call like the Cuban Revolution terrorism, because by that definition, it absolutely was ambushing, military patrols and stuff. That's terrorism.
Yeah, who can forget the horrible terrorist attack in 1944 in Normandy, waged by the Americans?
The terrorist strike at Lexington and Concord. It's like, fine, you want to do that, let's have fun, but like, it's not viable.
Well, you know, I mean, again, just not too much juice to be squeezed out of 9/11 on
9/11 juice is run out, and it really is like 9/11. It's over for you, honey. I mean, you got a whole generation who don't remember it at all, and everybody else has moved on because the 9/11 framework of this civilizational conflict on some distant frontier has been replaced by war at home. So the vocabulary of the war on terror and the primal scene of 9/11 have been superseded. There's new primal scenes like the George Floyd protests, which are far more, or January 6th, which are the things that are like blazoning into our current understanding of who our enemies are. Like, it's not terrorism or Muslims or any of that bullshit.
Yeah, and 9/11, I mean, the FDD guys are just so, they're so superfluous for the Republican side. They've always been like, it's a bipartisan, awful think tank, but decidedly more on the Republican side of the NatSec sphere. But they are kind of like a 25-year-old having a fake ID for Republicans, because it used to be like, okay, we're going to use this 9/11 cudgel to, stoke anti-Muslim sentiment and like maybe hit the immigration bell just the right amount. But it's like, they don't need that anymore. This subtext is gone. You don't need an excuse. You just go out and say it.
Yeah.
Folks, you want to know how washed 9/11 is? In about 3 years' time, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to leave her for the Stephen Paddock shooting. Boom!
Da, 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 da.